The Medium is one of the games I was most excited about in the lead up to the launch of the Xbox Series X. The idea of inhabiting two worlds at the same time intrigued me and left me hyped to learn more about what Bloober Team, a small Polish outfit that's been around since 2010, but which I hadn't heard of until this announcement, had managed to pull off. After having finished The Medium in just over 9 hours, I'm not sure if it's what I wanted. It's clear The Medium is inspired by old survival horror games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. The old staples of the genre are all there: static camera angles, stilted movement, and a deep, foreboding sense of horror. If you know me, you know that this isn't usually my thing, but again, the dual world mechanic was too intriguing for me to pass up. The idea of seamlessly shifting between two worlds, kind of like the light and dark worlds from A Link to the Past, sounds amazing. This could have been a showcase for the Xbox Series X's velocity architecture, in particular the high-speed SSD Microsoft has installed in it. This was the moment I was hoping for, the one that would give me that oh wow experience that I've seen in countless PS5 games. You know the one, where load times feel almost non-existent, like you're playing on a cartridge instead of a disc. That feeling that there's some kind of magic going on inside your system. Sadly, that just isn't the case for the Medium. You can inhabit two worlds, sure, but it doesn't feel like a generational leap in performance. In fact, the Medium feels more like a last generation game that was ported to the new generation of consoles at the last minute. Nothing in this game makes me feel like I'm experiencing something that could not have been done on the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. Oftentimes, I felt as though the Medium was hamstrung by the decision to make both worlds display simultaneously. Having both worlds on screen at the same time means that neither of them look as good as they possibly could have had different design choices been made. Visually, the Medium feels pretty inconsistent. At times, it can look breathtaking or awe-inspiring. At others, it looks decidedly flat and last gen. I also experienced numerous visual and audio issues while playing the game. All too often, textures wouldn't load, leaving characters and environments lacking in detail until higher quality assets streamed in. At several points during my playthrough, the main protagonist's voice track dropped out suddenly, leading me to miss pieces of dialogue that furthered the story. The Medium places you in the role of Marianne, a medium, who inhabits both the worlds of the living and the dead simultaneously. She's summoned to a resort called Neva to unravel its mysteries. It's all standard survival horror stuff. Go to a creepy place, investigate, find creepy things, repeat. However, from a gameplay standpoint, the Medium couldn't be more different from the series from which it draws inspiration. I would go as far as to not call the Medium a survival horror game, because survival isn't really an element that exists within it. Enemy encounters are few and far between. Marianne doesn't carry weapons of any kind, and there's no combat to speak of. Instead, as you make your way through the dilapidated remains of Neva, you'll have to solve all manner of puzzles in both the physical and spirit worlds. The Medium's main antagonist, a creature called the Maw, stalks you throughout your adventure, similar to Nemesis or Mr. X from the Resident Evil series. Knowing that Marianne has no combat options robbed these encounters of their tension. When you know that your only option is to flee or to solve a puzzle, the fear of having to face down this creature is completely removed from the equation. Instead of panic or fear, the Medium forced me to look at its greatest challenge as just another problem to be solved. I'm not sure how I feel about the puzzles in the Medium even now. None were insultingly easy, but they didn't feel particularly clever either. Once I had a firm grasp on all of the skills available to Marianne, I had no issues solving the challenges presented to me by the game. Similarly, I had no strong feelings about the way the story was told in the Medium. Postcards, letters, and other collectibles are scattered throughout Neva waiting to be found. In addition to this, you can use Marianne's powers to pull memories from objects, all of which paint a disturbing picture of what happened in this place. Sadly, not much of it contributes anything meaningful to the narrative, however. Cutscenes delivered perhaps the most interesting moments the game could offer, but they failed to move me in any meaningful way. By the end of my adventure, I didn't care for Marianne any more or less than I had in the beginning. And that may be the best analogy I can come up with for how I feel about the Medium as a whole. Nothing about it bothered me to the point of disliking it. However, nothing about it truly won me over either. It's a commendable effort by a small team to make a truly unique game. I can honestly say that I've never played anything like it. I would love to see a sequel that borrows further from the Resident Evil and Silent Hill franchises to make something that truly captures the sense of fear that the game is so clearly trying to deliver. That wraps up our review of the Medium for Xbox Series X by Bloober Team. As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to Good Vibes Gaming for more reviews just like this one. We're fully Patreon funded, and if you would be so generous as to lend your support, we would appreciate you heading over to patreon.com/gvgaming and seeing the options we have available. I will see you next time.